Hello again, and welcome again to Young Generation Presents TV and Radio. I am your host, Jim Perales, and today we're going to focus on Uvalde, Texas, the Opera House over there. I went over there, let's say about 2 weeks ago, and I did a limousine run, and I ran into Mr. Ortiz. His son had a prom, Jose, very good, well-respected gentleman, and some ladies he took in the Hummer limousine to prom, and then I got to ride around the city and explore and all that. And talking about the Opera House, I've been at the Opera House in Chicago, the Lyric Opera, and I seen a lot of stuff about, Andre Bocelli. I seen him in concert. He was very good. But I said Todd Sweeney. I seen Merlot. I seen The Lion King, and a lot of opera that it just caught my eye. I would, you wouldn't expect somebody like me to go to an opera. I was a heavy metal maniac and all that, but those are back in the days. Well, as we get into this, I'd like to thank the Lord and Savior for everything He's done to have this show on the air, on YouTube, podcast, and on my 3 network TV shows here in San Antonio and also worldwide. I'd like to thank Jen and Jules Borelli in Brazil for letting me do a book on her. It's called Jules and Doves. It's a wonderful book about her playing at the beach, and she gets hit by a rock, and then she goes to heaven, and she thinks she's ready to meet her maker, but the maker says, "No, I just want you to come here to warn the people." But other than that, the book's almost coming out. I got a good publishing guy. I also want to thank the city of San Antonio for all the stuff they did. I got the Uvalde pictures that I'm going to be posting as soon as before the story's almost over. But as we go on, the Uvalde Grand Opera House was built in 1891 and is the second oldest opera house in the state of Texas. It was designed by architect B.F. Trester, the same architect that designed the previous courthouses in Uvalde and the courthouses that still stand in Bandera, Texas. Uvalde Grand Opera House was the latest building he designed before his death in February of 1891. Just months before the Opera House was completed and opened in the same year, the commissioned by the Uvalde Real Estate and Building Company and built by Patrick F. Doyle, the building was completed in 8 months and was opened in October of 1891. The Opera House had played host to traveling musicians and vaudeville acts, balls, dances, and graduation ceremonies in 1908. The First United Methodist Church of Uvalde put on the hilarious operetta, The Mikado, written by W.S. Gilbert, and was the first located theatrical production of the Opera House. Can you figure that out? Wow, the building passed through several hands, and until 1917, native Uvaldian and former Vice President John Garner purchased the building from F.A. Piper. He made the corner room into his office and positioned the desk chair in the windows of the turret so that he could watch over his hometown, even when he served under President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Washington Garner maintained his office here at the Opera House. John Garner removed the original stage and chairs for the auditorium so that petitioners could create temporary office spaces. These offices remains open until the early 50s, when eventually it closed down. Ooh. And the auditorium in the Opera House stood empty for nearly 2 decades. Retail stores remain open. The lower level of the Opera House in 1978, the Garner estate sold the Opera House to the city of Uvalde, Texas, I think for $10. Wow. I don't know what that means, but in 1979, a commission was formed to raise funds to renovate the Opera House and return it to its former glory. The Opera House was officially reopened in 1982 and was the center stage of Uvalde once again, hosting dozens of plays and a variety of other shows. The Opera House was once again a part of the community in the way of life in Uvalde. As we go forward, there's a lot of places you can look at. It's on www.facebook.com. Texas Historical Commission source, Uvalde, Texas. Okay. The Opera House is still a beloved place in our community after 130 years. Come see for yourself what makes this beloved landmark so unique. And you can also call to schedule your appointment. And let me get it's at 104 West North Street. It's Opera, and then it's AINFO at UvaldeTexas.gov. And the phone number is 830-278-4184. The Opera House manager, Kathleen Vissel, you can contact her. You can also go online and talk to her. It's like a 6 people group. They want a maximum of that for a tour. And the number is 830-278-4184 to schedule a tour. And I like it because it's good, but there's other stuff over there in John Garner, the house located in Uvalde, Texas, was a hometown to the American vice president. That's what caught my eye also. We got the Queen Anne style resident there. We got also the haunted behind the Uvalde Grand Old Opera. I don't know what that means, but I don't want to get into that. We'll do that later. But 218 North Getty Street, Benson House. The oldest structure in downtown, the Benson House, was built in 1881. And the flood of 1894 with rotted roads and I guess messed it up, but it's still standing there. Uvalde, Texas would also be a good thing for, like, if you want to move down to Texas and buy homes and sell them, or revitalize them and then sell them, real estate. It's a hot ticket there. I'm looking at that because I got a friend named Michael Vasquez that is really into this. He buys those stuffs and fixes them up and then sells them. We got the Kincaid House too, which is a portal of Texas history. It's located at 523 North Getty. I was passing down that street so many times when I did a limousine run. Oh my God. But it was fun because I got to sit. I ate a couple of tacos down there at the taco stand. And the cops were great. They were always waving at me. The state troopers also. They're right there. They're always visible and everything. And I think it's a good place. The historic preservation there. Uvalde City Council adopted a preservation ordinance which regulates historic districts. I want to get into that so I can give you some more information about it. The historic preservation In May 10th, 2016, the Uvalde City Council adopted a property tax. You know, in order to keep it good, make it look better and everything, there's design standards, guidelines to regulate changes to exterior of all buildings in the original historic downtown. What they want to do is they want to revitalize it so people would start, you know, instead of going to San Antonio or Austin or Missions, come to Uvalde. It's a business district. It's beautiful down there. The Historic Preservation Board is on hand, and they're looking at stuff to make it better. They had a wonderful rodeo going on at a big, I think where the airfield was, the old airfield. I guess the old Air Force used to train there. That's another thing that's really interesting. You know, is the you know, the Air Force used to do that over there. The Uvalde, Texas history. Let's get into that. It's on your Wikipedia, and Uvalde is a city and the county seat of Uvalde, Texas, United States. The population was 15,217. At 2020 census, Uvalde is located in the Texas Hill Country, 80 miles, 130 kilometers west of downtown San Antonio, and 54 miles east of Mexico, the United States border. This is another thing. Now we know about John Garner House and the Briscoe Opera House. I wanted to talk about this because the fountain of Leon River. The Leon River is a river in Texas. It runs through the counties of Uvalde, Zavala, and Frio. Archaeology discoveries related of indigenous people that have made in the areas where the river has drained. It's a wonderful place. I got to meet Mr. Ortiz. He's EMS here in San Antonio. His pops was real cool, and I made friends with him. I sent him some of my TV shows with Patsy Torres. She had her video on. You could watch it on YouTube also. It's on Young Generation Presents or under Jimmy Perales. You could watch Patsy Torres. It's a TVSA San Antonio, public access, and also regular TV. But other than that, I want to thank everybody. The mayor, Don McClellan, the city manager, Vincent DiPiazzi. I haven't met him yet, but one day I'm going to go over there, and I want, the arts and culture. I want everybody to know about it. As the John Garner House, that's one thing we got to look at, because he was under Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was the vice president from 1933 to 1941. And the Aviation Museum at Garner Field, that's the one, has displayed a World War II art aircraft. The Briscoe Art Antique Collection displays collections. Former Texas Governor Dolph Briscoe. The Janie Slaughter Briscoe Grand Opera House, the host community theater and concerts. There's a lot of, we got sources too. There's a lot of places. The Motley County, Texas house, the Briscoe County, Texas, Uvalde County, Texas. There's a lot of stuff we can, the Madre looks back on Uvalde's Wild West. Oh my God. That's another story, and another thing, I want the people to know about looks back at Uvalde's West history. Young Reading W. Black was a man with a dream and a lot of guts when he established a town named Encina over the banks of the Leon River in 1853. For the next 3 decades, Uvalde was known as the wildest and most lawless of all the towns in the West. Black himself would become a victim of the lawlessness when he was shot by his brother-in-law, G.W. Tom Wall, in 1867. Black was 37 years old. James B. Davenport, a member of the Texas militia Uvalde Company, was named as the first sheriff, and a combination jail and courthouse had been completed by May 19, 1857. Unfortunately, the Civil War turned friend against friend, and the new town Black, who was a Union sympathizer, moved to Mexico during the war. During that time, the county was without a sheriff for 2 years. Nueces Strip becomes a sanctuary for criminals. After Black was murdered, Governor E.M. Peace asked General W.S. Hancock to establish martial law in the area, but Hancock refused. Uvalde County was the last bastion of any type of law, and the infamous Nueces Strip lay beyond the Nueces River. The Strip has become a sanctuary for Mexican and Anglo-American smugglers, gamblers, rustlers, and gunslingers. Uvalde gained a reputation in those early years. In his novel Sackett, you got to watch that, Louis L'Amour. You got to watch those. They're one of the best. I want to thank everybody for a little bit of history thing, and hope one day we can all get together and understand more history. I'm going to do a show on Theodore Roosevelt, and I want you all to really look into this and understand that this is what the history of Texas is. I did a show about Phil Collins and his discovery of antiques and artifacts. They were thrown in the water well, but 2 of the generals at the Alamo, when Santa Anna came from Mexico to conquer the Alamo, they threw it in the water well and they blew it up. Well, Phil Collins went over there and dug it up and found 15 million in antiques and artifacts. Kept it for about 6 months, But when he was a kid, when he was 5 years old, he used to watch that TV show from Disney, Daniel Boone, always about the Alamo. He was just so obsessed with it. But when he was there, he found those antiques and artifacts. And 6 months later, he said, wait a minute, this doesn't belong to me. This belongs to Texas. So he donated everything back to the Daughters of the Alamo. That's why San Antonio ranks number 1 in the USA, number 2 in the world. The museum and everything, the construction that's going around there, it's all Phil Collins. And we got to think of him, he's from England, but there was English there was Germans, there was even color folks, Black. There was Mexicans that were with the Alamo fighting against Mexico. So there's a lot of stuff. They have the fine print, but you don't see it. So that's why I come on here on my podcast, on YouTube, on my TV show, and I tell people all about this, all about the wonderful pictures that we have of the Opera House, Uvalde Opera House. I'm going to show you some of the here, let's see, right here. I'm trying to get on my laptop, and well, it tells you the whole story about Garner, and I'm gonna probably go through it and just I want you to just look at it. Some of the pictures there, and it's wonderful. I think it's going to be a nice show, a nice thing. If you could look on JP, the host, or look under Jimmy Perales or Young Generation Presents. I'm also on podcast, and I want to look forward into sharing with you the history of San Antonio. I want to thank God. I want to thank the SAPD. Blessed are the peacemakers. It's Bible. So, what do you do when you need help or something? The police department's always there. SAPD is wonderful people. The chief, he's very cool. He's from up north. Forgot to tell you, he's from Boston, Massachusetts. Yeah, but he moved over here. He's been in San Antonio for a long time and running the show. And I want to thank him for everything. Also, but I'm gonna stop the show, and then I'm gonna redirect you over here to a lot of the pictures and stuff, so you can see how beautiful it is, how wonderful it is. And thank you. God bless you. I'll see you on my next show. Thank you. And we're gonna put it right over here, because I want you to see a lot of the see if you can see it right there. It's also that's the Opera House. See, let me put it down a little bit. There we go. There we go. I wish I could put my pictures on the podcast, but for right now, this is what I got. It tells you, about the Opera House. Okay, let me get over here. Okay, here we go. There's a lot of people that work there. The commission by the Uvalde Real Estate and Building Company, built by Patrick F. Doyle. We talked about that, but I wanted to show you some pictures here on YouTube and on the TV. The building passed through several hands in 1917. Native Uvaldean, the former vice president, John Nance Garner. Remember, John Nance Garner Airfield is over there. But also when you go to the airfield, you also see they have a lot of rodeos and fiestas, festivals, horse riding and stuff. In 1979, a commission was formed to raise funds to renovate the Opera House and return it to its former glory. The Opera House was officially reopened in 1982 and was the center stage of Uvalde once again, hosting dozens of plays, musics, and variety of other shows. I'm a musician, but I don't play anymore. But I got a lot of people that would love to go down there and play. And I'm talking about bluegrass, country western, some old stuff. Gavin Story. If you want to look him up on Spotify, he's a new young country western singer. He likes that old bluegrass and old country style, like George Jones, Wade Hayes and all those, He don't like this new wave stuff, so he sings that. And it's getting popular from San Antonio. San Antonio by noon. You got to check him out. Gavin Story. One good guy. So the Opera House is still a beloved place in our community. After 100 years, come see for yourself what makes this beloved landmark so uniqueable. Call to schedule your tour. And you know what? As a matter of fact, I passed by there. So yeah, I think I seen all the historical, and right when I came up there, it was good. And see, like we got right here, the Uvalde Grand Opera House presents Thomas Steigerwald. He's a pianist. that's what there's a lot of shows that come up. Brandon Ryder, John Bottom and the Autumn Raglan, Crow and Gazelle, Courtney Patton and Brian White. It's just wonderful opera, plays, the Uvalde feud. Oh my God, that just passed, but there's another one coming up June the 7th. Uvalde feud. You gotta go to that one. But check out Uvalde. There's some more. There's a lot more. Mary Poppins. Come on now. Mary Poppins Jr. I wonder what that's about. But, the Uvalde, the Dilimata, and the Texas tradition for the good times. A tribute to the good old Cherokee cowboy himself. Wow. August 17, 2024, the Grand Opera House, Uvalde, Texas. And I'm also going to put this on, a lot of places where you could get the information. The Uvalde Grand Opera House presents Texas Comedies, The Feud. It's September the 8th, 2:30. The tickets are on sale July the 1st. It's like a few Texas comedies brings infrared musical comedies towns across the state, such as Bonnie and Clyde, The Boomtown, both previously performed at the Uvalde Grand Opera House in theaters and halls of all sizes. They perform 1-hour musical comedy production, each with a live band loosely based on true events, Texas history. There's also fiestas go down there, and a lot of Tejana music, country, even from Mexico, the norteño, the bachata, the duranguense, and so there's a lot of stuff still there in Uvalde, Texas. The Mystery at the Opera House. Ooh, that's a good one. It's a little spooky one, but those are the dates you should remember. And like I say, Uvalde, Texas, operahouse.com, and it'll tell you all about the upcoming, as you can see right there, it's got the tickets. Contact us, get involved, website terms. See, let's contact us. Let's see where it goes. Okay, well. And there we go. Right smack downtown, 104 West North Street, Uvalde, Texas, 78801. Let's look at the larger map, okay? I'm on podcast still, but I'm going to be ending the show in about a minute. But I just wanted to tell you guys thank you for all. And here it is right here. When you come down Highway 90, you're coming from San Antonio. When you pass Nipa, then you'll start entering into Uvalde, and it's smack right downtown. You can't miss it at all. 104 North Street. There's a website you can go and see. There we go. There we go. Now that's what I'm talking about. 104 North, and then we'll see you all on my next show. Thank you for listening to my radio, my TV, YouTube, and this is around the world. If you're from another country, another state, I want to give a shout out to all my friends. Michael Vasquez, real estate guy. I want to Jen and Jules Borelli, and I also want to tell everybody here. I want to tell my mom Happy Mother's Day yesterday. Been a little accident there, but I'm doing okay, and I just want to say thank you. God bless you. I'll see you all on my next show. Vaya con Dios todos que hablo español, y yo hablo español, pero soy latino. Pero si hablamos después, también voy a hacer programas en español. Gracias, te miro cuando te miro. Gracias.